fake Facebook man, posting lies about my life which no one else can. Filters on my face to disguise my age. Show money that I don't have, there's words on my page. Why don't you come and join my team? It's called living the fake Facebook life dream. If they post a pic of me eating clean, but it's pizza and burgers for dinner, you know what I mean. A snapshot of vacations that I got no money to take. Send you one of my sports car, you know that it's a fake. Got my love loaded up with things that aren't even true. Pretending on Facebook is my thing, but it's my thing too. Yeah, 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 yeah.
2,000 friends, which I've never done met. A pic of my lunch is what you're gonna get. I had a post of your baby, say it's one darn cute kid. But I lied cause it's ugly, that's called an online fib. I talk about success in my job and the pending promotion, but in reality it's a psych, cause I got a demotion.
Only the fake Facebook man, posting lies about my life which no one else can. Filters on my face to disguise my age. Show money that I don't have, there's words on my page. Why don't you come and join my team? It's called living the fake Facebook life dream.
You block me on Facebook without a judge, jury, or trial. I'll be creeping you the next day with a shiny new profile. See a pic of my family? Yeah, we're having a good time. Well, the joke's on you. We have not talked in 8 months or 9. I'll tell you about the weather and the stuff you don't need to know. I'll fake a good illness so the sympathy will grow. I'll ask you to donate to my made-up cause and post selfies on the daily that ain't breaking no laws. So don't judge the life of the fake Facebook man, pretending to be happy like no one else can. How is that sunburn treating you, Kinsman?
It's treating me well, didn't I tell you? Give me a day, 24 hours. It looks like I was in the Caribbean for a week, right? When I burn, it comes back in a nice leathery tan afterwards.
Yeah, I still think you're burnt. And here's what I think what happened last night.
What's
you
that?
went into the bathtub with a calamine lotion, all the salt, the bath bombs. You regretted your decision not to use proper amount of sunscreen. This is what I think.
Do I look like a bath bomb type guy? No.
Yeah, you do. You
No.
hold it inside.
No. When I go shopping for the body wash, if you want to dive into that side of KINZ, I look for the 3-in-1. I have no time for the conditioners, the shampoos, body washes. I just find the 3-in-1. If it smells half decent, with the mask on, it's harder to smell these things now. But that's usually the go-to catch.
Right. All right, Kinsman. We have one of Canada's greatest comedians on tonight. And I always have a beef with you when we have comedians on because me, I'm a comedian. I tell a bunch of jokes. All I get is a frown. And I know when Derek comes on, you're going to be a ball of laughs again, right?
You think so? Well, he is deemed one of Canada's funniest comedians.
Yes.
So he does outrank you just a smidge. But I do laugh at your jokes the odd time.
No, you don't, kids.
I do.
You all these other
do I give you the pity laugh? It's the pity laugh.
Yeah, I have feelings too, Kinsman. But no, it's a great honor. We're going to bring Derek on very shortly, and even better news, he is going to be in Timmins this weekend.
He is. He's got two back-to-back shows at the Surge.
Yes, that's right. And there's still, a small amount of tickets available.
Right.
2 shows at the Surge. And if you haven't seen Derek perform, like, you need a laugh right now. Like, there's been so much boiling up of negativity in the last 2 years now. It's time to let it go and get
Time to let her go. And the good news is, with the restrictions, you are allowed to hang with your peeps, do some mingling. Nice to drink a cold beverage and watch some funny jokes being tossed out by Derek Seguin. He's going to be a great act. And again, available at the Surge. Pick them up, and you can also contact Rick Lemieux. He's also selling the tickets out there.
And Rick Lemieux is actually going to be, look at that. Rick Lemieux is going to be headlining for Derek, and I think he's doing a bunch of shows with Derek. But I know he's going to be at the Timmins show. So let's bring Derek on.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Are we ready for some big laughs? Yes, I do believe he's hanging out backstage. That's you're looking for the interference. I think Derek's sitting back there. His mic is live, so that's probably what we were hearing.
Let's bring him on right now.
Let's bring him in. There he is.
Oh, hey, sorry. Did you guys hear me open the can? Sorry, you guys were talking about cold beverages. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing without a drink in front of me? This is bullshit.
You only cut Kinsman off, so that's okay. Yeah, he wasn't saying anything.
Right.
So don't worry about that. But tell me a little bit off the bat. You're growing up. Were you the guy, like, what do they call it? The class clown, making everyone laugh. Did it start off early for you?
Maybe a little bit. I guess I was always seeking attention. The class clown. I was actually very shy as a kid, so I would have to be in an environment that I was comfortable in to start clowning. I'm actually still very shy, which is odd, but except when I start doing stand-up, then it goes away.
You dive into the set. Your blinders are on, and you forget everything about being shy, and then you start.
I guess, yeah.
Yes.
I guess because I'm more in control there. Like, whereas in life, when you go and you meet people, you're not super in control, right? You're not in control. Like at the grocery store, you're like, you say something funny, excuse me, and they're like, what are you looking at? That's crazy. Who would ever say that? And you're like, oh, you got to deal with the social parameters of I'm sorry that offended you. Whereas at one of my show, if I say something and the person's like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that, I could be like, fuck you, you're an idiot. I don't know. I guess I'm more in control.
Do people expect you, because you're pretty well known across the country?
Probably should have asked you, are we allowed to swear on this?
You can do whatever you want on our show.
Do whatever you want there, Derek.
I just saw the little bell. It says presented by Bell. Oh shit. Sorry, Bell.
They're one of our partners here in Timmins, but I'm wondering, so you're pretty well known, and when you're on the stage, you're a comedian, but like if you're in a restaurant or in the mall, do people like approach you and say, tell me something funny there, funny guy? You get that a lot?
That does happen. What happens even more is people will tell me the stupidest street joke, and they'll say that I could have it. Like, oh, you could use that in your little skit if you want. And then inevitably I will punch them in the face. Even if it's an old lady that tells me I can use it in my skit, punch in the face is what you get. No, I'm kidding. I'm not violent. I'm not. But they do. Sometimes, like, people, I have like, on stage, we have these tools that we use to navigate certain situation. Yes, you guys understand. I'm a public speaker by trade, but for 16 months, my trade was I'm having trouble communicating. My vocabulary in French is bad, and now in English, I can't speak either language well. But people do often say, make me laugh. Where the only time that I've ever even attempted is like at the border. Like when the border guard, they're like, you're a comedian, eh? Why don't you tell me something funny? I'm like, ugh. But the stock response is, that's my job. I mean, if you give me $25, I'll say something funny.
That's
but
right.
I made the mistake with a border guard once. He was like, oh, you're a comedian. Why don't you tell me a joke? And I'm like, well, you're a border guard. Why don't you stick your finger up my ass? Well, he did. So I owed him a joke.
I get what you ask for.
Yeah.
That's right. All you hear is the snap of the leather glove and the rubber glove, and okay. Your move, Derek, is what they were saying to you.
Yeah. So a rabbi and an imam walk into a bar. Hello.
Is there a big difference between performing in front of a French audience and an English audience? Do you adjust your sets?
Good question. I don't really adjust because I try to stay true to who I am, but I definitely the response is different. I just we just did so just for laugh and just pour rire just finished, and I did a just pour rire show and I did just for laugh show, and it's different. It's so hard though to explain it to you guys. There's so many intangible things that make it different. A lot of it stem from, especially in Quebec. So it's not so much French audience, but it's French Quebec audience. Stand up, you have to understand, is only about a 40-year-old métier or say type of consumable art, if you will. Whereas, English stand up, we call it American stand up, dates back to the turn of the 20th century, vaudeville days, right? It's had time to evolve on itself. So French Canada, Québécois comedy has evolved on its own too. Once it was established as a thing within that culture, it evolved on its own over 40 years, not influenced by the American stand-up. So what audience now expect is what Quebec has kind of presented to them over the last 40 years. So the simplest explanation would be Quebec audiences expect more character-driven, scripted, right? Like it's kind of, when you go see like a comedian that's been on the road for years and years, then you go see their one-man show. They call it a one-man show. It's got acts. It's got, lighting changes. Well, stand-up in Quebec is a lot more that, even in a silly little bar. You'll have musical cues and say a fucking jungling bear that will come out and be part of the show. Yeah. I don't know what that is right there. Is that ruining your shot at all?
No, it's fine.
Right. Weird.
Neighbors can't peer in anymore.
Right.
Do you write separate jokes in French and English, or because sometimes they wouldn't translate right properly?
Well, puns are certainly, and luckily I don't do a lot of puns, but like I said, for me, I try to be true to what I do up there, but there's ways that I tweak it. Like I will put the emphasis on a different spot because I know with the sensibility of the French Québécois people, like for instance, when I do show in English and I know there's 2 or 3 francophone in the audience that are obviously bilingual, like up in your area in the north, there's tons of French Canadians in Northern Ontario. So I never feel completely alone. So if I start making fun of English people, I feel like I've always got 2 or 3 people that have got my back in case.
Quite a few here in this city anyway. And in the areas that you're doing the shows this week.
Yeah. So, but what's funny is like that whole punching up, punching down thing actually come into play with me, that if I'm in a room that's, 99% Anglophone and I start saying a joke that kind of come from the perspective of me as a Francophone making fun of English people, whatever, ça se prend mieux. Like people are like, yeah, it's okay. He's making fun of us. That's fine. Maybe because I'm a white guy, they're white people, whatever. But like if I'm in a French audience and I say like, oh, les astis d'anglais, they do whatever, they're like, hey, Derek, we're not supposed to say that in public. This is being recorded. What if the English find out this is what we really think? It's like it's their reaction. It's weird.
Right.
Like for instance, I did a wedding just this weekend, which because it's the pandemic, I take whatever I can get, right? Mm-hmm. But the marié, the groom, is in a wheelchair, and so we discussed before we shouldn't make fun. It's sensitive for his mom and thing like that. But at one point, I just have a regular part of my act, a joke that mentions the handicap stall in the washroom. You know what I mean? Where the toilet's a little bit higher than the other toilets. And even that, because the guest of honor be standing beside me, or not standing, obviously he's in a wheelchair, so he was sitting, sitting beside me. I felt the fret in the room. Even though he's fine with it, I've pre-established that I'm fine with it. This is a joke that I do in front of thousands of people all the time. You have to be, so to answer there's a long way to go to answer your very simple question, but you just have to be sensible as a comedian or a performer to who you're talking to. Mm-hmm. To make sure that they can get on board with what you're saying. So if you go too extreme in any way, it's not going to work. So I adapt my act, not just from English to French, but from downtown Montreal to fucking Timmins, Ontario. You can imagine that the consensus sensibility is different. Like when I go to Timmins, I won't make fun of cousins getting married because it's a much more normal thing up there.
Right. You're gonna offend Mark. He won't.
Kinsey's all angry. He's like, "What the fuck is he talking about? The son of the bitch. We invite him on our show. Totally starts talking about my Uncle Paul, the son of a bitch."
Right.
I like Derek's style. This is what we have to adapt.
It's a good style.
Cigarettes going. He's got a can of beer. Like this is the way you're supposed to be living life.
It's working for me.
Yeah.
I went to the doctor today. I did a bunch of blood tests because I have not been feeling well. It turns out the doctors and my consensus is that it's just stress. I'm actually stressed coming out of this pandemic. I'm like it's like I really got used to doing fuck all for 16 months. I'll do it like, imagine my job isn't that exigent. Imagine people that work in the mines or whatever, right? I work 7 hours a week on a busy week. And I was really getting used to those 7 hours a week off. So it turned out I'm stressed, but we did a bunch of blood tests just to be safe. And I could see that my doctor, she's going through all the results and she was getting annoyed that they were all good. She's like, "No, you look at your cholesterol. It's fucking perfect. Your cholesterol is actually really good." "Yeah, but your blood pressure." "What the fuck? How do you have okay blood pressure, Astrid?" And then she's like, "But let's take a look at your liver function, you son of a..." "Your liver's the liver of a 20-year-old man. What the fuck is happening?" She was getting annoyed that I was so healthy.
So you passed all the health checks, but some people just get lucky like that, I guess.
Turns out I'm stressed out. Apparently, that's why I've not been feeling well, because I'm stressed. So my middle child, my son, moved out a couple of weeks ago. And my daughter is seeing a new boy, so she's out a lot. She spent the night at his place a lot. My youngest daughter, she's off school for the thing, so she got a job closer to her mother's house. So I think, guys, it's weird. So mixing with coming out of the pandemic, mixed with empty nest syndrome. I'm 48-year-old and I'm having empty nest anxiety. Like I got nobody to take care of, and it's causing me anxiety. It's weird. You heard it there first. That, by the way, this is a scoop for you guys. Good work. Entertainment Tonight Canada didn't get this story. It was you fucking guys.
There we go.
Exclusivity right here on KINZ and KLOMP. And, obviously, the last 16, 17 months, not doing anything. Do you continue writing jokes during that span? Do you have jokes that are going to be, obviously you want to... I guess you want to poke fun at the pandemic, but do you stay clear of pandemic jokes, or what kind of what kind of fire and power and bullets are you throwing at the shows this weekend?
I'm very stream of consciousness kind of comedian to begin with, so to not mention it would be ridiculous. If I don't write like other comedians either, I write on stage. So the fact that I haven't really had any stages means that I haven't really written that much stuff, but we've been back now for about 2 weeks, and I've got whatever. I've come up with like 15 or 20 minutes of new things, some generated by the pandemic, some just things that happened in the few little, like 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there, that we were allowed to do stuff. I like to think that if you've seen me before, you come again, you may hear something that's familiar, but it's always going to be new, because somebody's shirt could become 15 minutes of the show, if it's a stupid enough shirt. But I don't write like a lot of comedians. I know they're at the computer and they're writing jokes. They're like, no, you know what would be a better word? This word is better. That's not me. I go to the club, drink 3 or 4 beers, jump on stage, and then hope fucking hilarity ensues. That's my style.
When you're sitting there, eyeing the crowd, some comedians don't really focus on the crowd. You're saying do you purposely, leave spaces so you can, joke around and play with, as they say, at the strip joint at First Row, comedians usually first row means you're going to heckle them. Do you go out of your way to look for the funny characters at the front of the stage?
I really don't go out of my way to do anything. Honestly, I try to be present there in the moment. I mean, I have, after 16 years doing this, I have hours of jokes that I've done several times and that I know work. I've got, not to pet my bretelle or whatever, like show off, but I have a good affinity to adapt things to the room that I'm in front of. Like I have very filthy versions of jokes, but then I have jokes like when you get there and the average age is like, 68-year-old or whatever. Like, as soon as you start seeing 7 or 8 blue hair, you kind of, all right, maybe we'll drop 7 or 8 of the cunts that I had planned for tonight, and I'll switch it for something else. Clumpy's like, oh God, he just said cunt on Bell. Oh no.
Mark's supposed to be on the censor button, but he's too involved in the conversation. But
you just tell me if I shouldn't swear, I'll stop swearing.
Geez,
like I said,
you can say whatever you want there, Derek.
Yeah, we don't censor our guests, but I want to go back to the last year and a half. You mentioned, of course, there's limited work, if anything. What is it like being a comedian and being without work without performing in front of live people? That sounds that's got to get pretty tough.
It is, and I think that's part of what has contributed to the stress that I'm feeling now. Like I said, my doctor and I kind of concluded that some of the symptoms that I'm feeling right now are stress related. Getting back out there, it's not like doing stand up for your first time. I mean, I don't know if either of you have ever stood in front of a large crowd of people. A lot of people have trouble with public speaking. I wouldn't say that's the case for me. It doesn't feel like the first time, but there's that fear that, March 2020, I was at the top of my game. I was at the top of the Canadian comedy sort of food chain. See, I was nominated for a Juno. I was doing good. So my fear lately, these last 6 or 7 shows that I was finally able to do live was, that 3-minute going before they introduced me. I'm like, do I still know how to do this? Like, am I? And now, and even that, it's different. It's not going out to a packed club, say, of what it's like. There's a guy here and there's a guy there, and then there's a guy over there, and there's a girl. See, it's excuse me. It's still different. So it's all like, am I good at it under these circumstances? I was lucky, and I'm knocking on wood. You guys can't see the wood. I was able to adapt to how we had to make a living during the pandemic. I did a lot of online things. Mm-hmm. My girlfriend Googled it. I was the first person in Canada to do a live online show. Oh, okay. I did it on March 26th, I think. So the pandemic for me started on March 20. On the 26th, I said, let's just do something online. And since this will be the way it's going to be consumed for the next little while. And then I guess because of that, companies started asking me to do it. So I actually survived the pandemic. I didn't miss any payments. You know what I mean? My mortgage continued to get paid. I made enough to survive the thing. My kids are all still fed and have a roof over their head. But now it's another adjustment. So I got used to doing online things, got used to doing comedy without any pants and wearing my Crocs in the garage. Now I have to get used to fucking my balls being all constrained, telling jokes again, It's weird to be out there telling dick jokes, being so conscious of your actual dick. It's like, God, listen, it's really, these jeans got tighter over the pandemic or something. I'm very buggy over here.
Yes, I thought it was just me. Do people who know you personally get worried you're going to use them in your routine? Say if they do something stupid or they get drunk one night and say, do they say, Derek, let's just leave that out?
Well, I guess my girlfriend is if there's one standout star of my act in general, it's my girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And she, I have to say, has been a really great sport to this point. There happened one time that something happened while we were on a vacation, and we got home, and she's like, Derek, please, you're never going to tell that story. Please never tell that story. And I'm like, okay, baby, whatever. I won't, I guess, if you really don't want me to. And then she was talking to a girlfriend of hers, told her the story in question. And she said, my girlfriend was rolling on the floor laughing when I was telling the story, and I was horrified at telling the story. So if she's laughing when I tell it, you're a joke person. I guess you could make it even funnier. So I guess since I love going to Jamaica and I want you to be successful, I guess you can tell the story. So I'll be telling that story when I go to Timmins, actually.
Yeah. So you're in Timmins this weekend on the 7th, right?
That's right. On Saturday night at the Surge.
Yeah, back-to-back shows. You have a 7 o'clock and a 10 o'clock show. Now, I think Rick was saying there's how many tickets are left? Has he kept you in the loop on that?
I think he told me there was less than a dozen left for the early show, but there was still like 25 or so left for the late show. Okay. He also said I mean, if it's not sold out, I'm going to be pretty embarrassed. Like, oh my God, did comedy become obsolete during the pandemic? God, it's because I think there's only 65 tickets available at either show. So, but he did say that people up in the north, especially now, it's a weird time, right? We don't know. Some people are still afraid to be in a group of people. But I do know, and from past Timmins Comedy Festival, it's kind of last minute up there, right? There's never. I'm not. I know that I'm not fucking Justin Bieber or whatever. Say it's a guy that's gonna tell stupid jokes. So if it doesn't sell out, I guess I won't be hurt. But I'll never go to Timmins again, you sons of.
There you go. There you go. A threat. People respond well here. The threats, and the thing is,
I bet. Yeah. It's very Canadian to be.
Yeah, that's right. I guess it is in the last year and a half we've become more American than Americans. But the Surge is a great venue. I know we chatted earlier; it'd be your first time there, but to me, it's like the more like it's as close as you can get to like a downtown Toronto, downtown Montreal vibe.
Yeah, I've only seen pictures. Is it brand new? It looks super clean and chic and
new. One of the newest in Timmins, yes. Probably I'm going to say this right now. Kim and her staff, the cleanest bars in the city. Every time I go in there, I joke you could probably eat on, the 5-second rule. It's
right
in there, and it kind of has that feel. First time I ever went in there, if you set up your comedy stage, it'll feel like the Just for Laughs type setting.
All the pictures I saw,
Canadian, I think, anyway.
It looks brand new. It looks really nice and modern and cool. I can't wait.
And you're going to be in Iroquois Falls, I believe, the day before.
The Friday night, Friday night. Also doing 2 shows there at the Y, WYE. I hope that's how you spell it. The Y. I think it used to be called The Station, and this mom and son duo bought it and overhauled it, and now it's a whole new restaurant, bar, bistro kind of place. And on Thursday, I'm doing highball billiards in North Bay, Ontario.
All right. So you're going all over the map there. Did you miss traveling when you were off with the pandemic? Because I assume you have spent a lot of time on the road.
Yeah, guys, I have 3 kids. I missed fucking traveling a lot. I'm really, really missed hotel. Oh my God, so good. My girlfriend was off work for like 8 months. I'm like, I miss it so much. It's fun. Like before the pandemic happened, I'm like, oh, I wish I could spend more time with my kid. No, I'm a comedian. I spend plenty of time with my kid. Yeah. It's like the gods really have a sixth sense of humor too, right? In Quebec, we're coming out of the pandemic now. All the measures are being lifted and thing. And then right when the kids could go back to school full time, fucking school's out for the summer. Yes. See, we could have finally gotten rid of these little shits. And now we're stuck with them for 2.5 months on the regularly scheduled torture for parents. This sucks.
But maybe they're thinking the same thing. They want to see dad back on the road too. Like this is enough.
I'm sure.
Two-way street. They're like, okay, dad's off to North Bay, Timmins, Iroquois Falls. Party time at the Seguin house, right?
Time to throw all the coasters in a box and like all the things that I nag about. They're gonna just start doing. Oh God, my house is ruined. You guys, I was trying to get over the stress. This is terrible.
Yeah, how much work goes into your craft? Because people see you on stage, you're having a great time, you're making them laugh, but there's just more to that. You're probably spending hours a day developing your craft, writing jokes. It's not an easy role.
Oh yeah. I have like at least 20, 25, 30 hours a day trying to come up with a new dick joke. No, I don't do anything, bro. I'm very, very lucky. What you're talking about is 16 years. I have 16 years into it. But I'm one of the lucky comedians. I don't actually write except for on stage. I come up with it on stage, but then, then you have to retain it and then think about it. Yeah, so I guess I put some thought into it.
Yeah.
But not as much as not as much as you're giving me credit for, and I don't want to take credit where it's not due. Let's be honest, I'm a heavy smoking alcoholic person that naps at least once a day, often twice. And I'm able to still do this job.
That's why people, they gel to you. They can relate to you. That's why you've been deemed one of Canada's funniest comedians. Is it weird having that title? Does it go to the head? Like what happens when someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, it's the funniest guy in Canada, Derek Seguin"? Do you get all bashful, or do you sign autographs? What's the mood like?
Funny enough, I do sign autographs, and it's still weird to me. I'll tell you, it's not lost on me when people say that about me. It's not like I don't care what I consider myself to be among the luckiest people that exist. So even that, like when we were going over with my doctor today, that we established it's probably just stress. I was so mad at myself for being, what are you stressed about? You son of the bitch. You talk about pipi caca, you fucking one ball bigger than the other, and you make enough money to drive a night. I just bought a motorcycle. Like I am, for what I do, I do not deserve all the thing that I have. I am so lucky. So when you say that, it's very kind. Thank you. I cherish it and I take it seriously. So to say, you know, like I'm sure you've heard comedian, they have a you know, an off night or a bad show, not pointing finger at anybody, but I'm sure you've heard comedians say like, oh, this audience was shit. They're stupid. They didn't get the joke. Whatever, my jokes are great. This guy's an idiot. I can say Orny Adams. I don't know if you saw the Seinfeld thing. Mm-hmm. He would often get mad at the audience. Yeah, I'm like, that's never been my mentality. Wherever I go, if I'm in North Bay, like people, other comedians even say like, that's your tour this weekend, North Bay, Timmins, and Iroquois Fall. Good to see you're still successful, Derek. I'm like, fuck you. $15 in Toronto or $25 in Toronto is the same $25 in Iroquois Fall to get in to see me. So if, you know, if I have to talk about this in Toronto, but I have to talk about this, you know, maybe adapt whatever snobby business meeting to fishing trip as see to make the fucking joke work for it's the people in front of me that are my most important thing. While I'm on stage, my kids could catch fire. I wouldn't care because I'm focused on making these people have fun. That's what we're here for. We're here to have fun together. So it's not lost on me how very lucky I am. And just to retract, I would still be sad if my children caught fire, but it would have to wait until the end of the show for the segment to kick in.
Before you extinguish them out.
Well, they all know the stop, drop, and roll or something like that. So
something like that.
I think they would be okay.
Like I said, I've been a smoker alcoholic their whole life. I'm sure they've had to put out fires that I'm not even aware of.
I'm sure maybe they could do their own comedy set. On Dad, but so a very successful 16-year career. Is there anything that you want to do that you haven't done yet? Is it TV? Is it movies? Is it what would be something on
that's funny that you mentioned that. It's now I feel I'm at the point. I was telling my mother this today that I have surpassed all my goals and even fantasies when I started doing comedy. I've surpassed them so far that I was like telling her, I think I have to sit down and really try to establish new goals or a new objective in this business. So in thinking about that a little bit, I think, you know, having my own show, hosting my own show during the pandemic, I was doing, and I keep saying pandemic. I call it a pandemic. You guys call it a pandemic. I feel like it affected me more than everybody else. So I call it a pandemic. But I did a lot of construction things just to, you know, to be useful and to fill my, you know, I had nothing to do for over a year. So started renovating my own house, and then people saw that and they're like, hey, could you help me with my thing? And sure, I could do that. And I like it. Keeps my mind busy. I didn't have, while you're building a deck, see, it's not rocket science, but I need to put that square thing on the square peg to put it in you're focused on a thing that keeps you from worrying about La Fin du Monde and everybody, the whole zombie apocalypse. So I enjoyed it for that. It kept my mind busy. I was getting better at a skill that could be useful should a real zombie apocalypse happen. I forget what the point of the whole, what were we even talking about? Maybe this beer was a bad idea, guys.
No, we're talking about like, what do you want to accomplish next? 16 successful years.
So I was posting a lot of the construction things I was doing. I was posting it on Instagram. Like, here's where we got to today. And then tomorrow, here's the progress. And then finalement, here's the finished project with the railing and the inset lighting. And I built a bar with neons and, so, you know, the whole built-in cooler and then the sink. And and people started seeing it. So I'm like, you know what, that would be fun to host a show. Like I started getting an idea to host a renovation show that's for regular people, right? Like the angle that I was thinking that if I even knew who to pitch shows to, that's the thing. I started writing out a pitch and your 1-page Bible or whatever, and then realized I don't even know who to pitch this to. It's not like I know the CEO of Discovery Channel or whatever. But the show I would do would be, it's a how-to show, but as often as not sometimes it would be a how not to show, because I mess up and then you have to take it apart and start over. Like, installing a toilet. Don't screw up your little beeswax ring, Chris. No, start all over. You have to, So it would show people that any moron can do some of these projects, because I can do it. So don't be intimidated to do it. Maybe you'll save yourself $500, $10,000. Who knows what you save? And that if you mess up, look how easily we fix it. You don't mess up and then call a plumber. You could probably fix it. So that was my.
Are you naturally good at this construction, or are you going step by step on the YouTube? Like I watch one step, I pause the YouTube video, I complete it, then I go to the next step. Like that. I didn't even think of YouTube until I started getting into more complex things. So I have used YouTube for a couple of things more recently, but for specific things, because I find sometimes you watch. It happened. I watched a YouTube video and I'm like, no, I don't like that way at all. That's stupid way. I'm gonna do it this way. But it is true. There's tools out there for everything. But I guess I'm just naturally adept at that kind of tinkering. I think the biggest blockade for men anyway, maybe they're not for everybody, but for men is that we don't want to screw something up, right? We feel like we're not, but I've never been like that. I'm like, I'll just try it. I don't care. Like that's why like I'm the only bilingual person in my sister, not but like because she's shy to speak, so she doesn't. So no, I just try and I don't worry about it, and then turn out it's not. Well, I think where it also come from, you meet a guy that I'm a contractor, and then the more you talk to him, like, oh my god, the guy thinks the earth is flat, and he's fucking guy's an idiot. So if this guy can do it, I could do it. You know what I mean? The earth is flat, people. We've seen a lot of them come out lately in the last couple of months.
What's up with that?
Yeah, they're everywhere. Yeah.
Wow.
They're everywhere. But what's a bigger learning lesson when you're on stage? If you go on stage and it bombs, or you go on stage and it's just outstanding, do you learn more from a failure or success?
I think inevitably, and if there's any young listeners out there, I think I would be doing a disservice to say anything but that you will learn more from your failures, because I think that is a life lesson that is very important. I think what you will learn from a major success, or like a huge, like you just crush, you learn how your ego deals with that kind of thing, which is a useful lesson only to yourself. But from your failure, you learn so much about who you are, what you're made of, what other people are made of, especially in my business. You go out there, some guys, like especially the comedians that sit home and craft their joke, you know what I mean? Like, oh, each word has been chosen, and you do it 5 times and it kills. And then you do it that 6th time and people are not only indifferent, but they seem almost annoyed with you. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, what? You have to try to figure that out. How is that possible? That 6 groups or 5 groups thought it was amazing, and this 6th group collectively decided you're an asshole for saying that same thing. It's so failure, I think, not just in comedy, I think failure in life. Again, I don't want to be preachy or that stupid dad, whatever, but you will learn so much more from things that don't go exactly how you planned than you will for things that go better than planned. Things that go better than planned makes you lazy. Right. Yeah. And I never want to be that comedian. I never want to be the guy that's lazy. And sadly, though, in my business, and I've heard other people say this, Jerry Seinfeld most famously, that the bigger you get, he will now, instead of playing The Surge, right, he'll play Madison Square Garden to 24,000 people, and the tickets aren't $30, they're $300, right? And he'll just walk out on the stage, hasn't said a word yet, and he's getting a standing ovation. Whereas when I walk out on stage at The Surge, there might be 3 or 4 people that are familiar with what I do. So no, the other people are like, this better be worth $30, you fucking French piece of shit. Right? So I got to prove myself. Yep. So it's like the more famous you get, the more complacent it's easy to become, right? So I think the really great guys that have lasted, like Seinfeld, even say Kevin Hart is not my cup of tea, but the guy worked hard. He doesn't take for granted anything. But it's easy to, right? Like you think about it, Jerry Seinfeld, everyone know who he is. When he come out on stage, everyone's already like, oh my God, I would totally have your baby, whatever, see? So as I've gotten more successful, I feel now like it's a big humility moment for me that I get to, you know, kind of restart. I was starting to tour major theaters and stuff before this all happened. Now I'm like, all right, let's get back to the nitty gritty. Let's get into the nicest bar in all of Timmins, but still just a bar in Timmins, La Santan. You know what I mean? It's not the like the last time I was in North Bay, I played the Capitol Center to 950 people. Now I'm going to Highball Billiards, which is maxed out at 60. So I think it's good for me. I think that's good for me, regardless of how the shows go. It's like, yeah, the whole world is in a fucking shitstorm. So we're going to have to start off with 60-seaters now just to remind people that I'm even funny. So, you know, if I'm at the Surge and there's 120 people that come through the door that night, hopefully, you know, at least 110 of them will tell other people, no, that was really good. I was really happy. So if I come back and I play the Dante or whatever, you know, 200 people may have heard that he's pretty funny, and let's go see him.
So what can people expect when they go see your show at the Surge? I assume they're going to have a pretty good time.
Nothing but vaccine jokes.
Vaccine? Oh no!
100 minutes of vaccine jokes.
Right, and flat Earth.
Yeah,
flat Earth. Obviously, they go hand in hand, right? The nanobots that have come in my brain from the vaccine is going to make me talk about flat Earth, of course.
Do you think people are going to be tired of hearing about the pandemic, even if it's in joke style, or you just go with it?
That's like I said, I'm very lucky that I have this skill that I will be able to pick up on it very quickly if I bring up any subject that is people are fed up with or just not interested in as a collective. And that's something important to know. And I think you almost have to be a comedian. Like for radios, broadcasters like yourself, I mean, on this platform, you have the immediacy of comments. People can comment for you and stuff. But there's nothing, you can't compare. Even the musician can't. Stand-up comedy audiences, maybe live theater audiences could or players could relate more, but they're stuck with the script, right? They have to stay with the script. The show is going to be that show. Stand-up comedy audiences, like I said, from, you know, you tell it 5 times, kills, 6 times, dies. Why? Because every group of people, as strange as it sounds, together develop one personality. It's weird. But think about like at a corporate comedy show. Say jokes that I know are killers. And then I maybe even know somebody that work at the company personally. And I know he loves the joke, but I'll tell the joke, but because it go over a certain line or touches a certain subject, he's gonna, before he laughs, he's gonna look at his boss or his manager or whatever. Oh, he's not laughing. I hate this joke. Fuck you, Derek. I never ever say. So, but so there's, imagine if you've got a room of 300 people, there's 300 different little mini unspoken interaction that are happening like that. Like this guy's got a contagious laugh, and he's made now my joke that isn't even that great, made it do way better than it normally would, because these 16 people all around him in earshot of his laugh are now laughing because of this idiot. They didn't even hear what I said, but this guy's laugh is funny. See? So each audience ends up with their own personality, and it's our job as comedians, and I like to think that it's a good comedian. So a skill that I'm able to develop is I can kind of figure that out within 8 or 9 minutes.
That's pretty cool. And you have Rick Lemieux opening for you here. I believe he's with you in Iroquois Falls, and I think
he's even coming. Yeah, he's even coming down to North Bay. He's gonna make the trek. So Rick, if you don't know Rick, he's Timmins born and bred, and a long time constable in the police force, but he's left the police force, which now makes him a candidate to be one of my personal friends. I faked it before. I pretended we were friends, but we weren't friends. But now he's got a teaching job. He teaches police, and because the police were actually, I don't know if this is public knowledge, but anyway, the police were let's say politely asking him not to do comedy because it wasn't befitting an officer of the law. But shooting black people, that's totally befitting. That's fine. We can do that as much as we want. All right. You guys were supposed to laugh at that and you didn't. Now I'm gonna just get right away from that. See, I read your personality as a group. We're gonna not joke about shooting black people anymore. We got it. We got the, you don't like those jokes. But Rick is now able to do comedy again, and it happened during the pandemic, so he's hungry to do it. And I love cheap labor, so he's gonna come all the way down to North Bay and open for me there. He's an amazing comedian and a more amazing guy. He was a wonderful policeman. Not to say all policemen are bad, because he was one, and he was a fantastic guy. Shooting black people is wrong. Just to be clear here, I was joking. It was a social commentary of an epidemic that's happening. Jeez, Mark's got a very, very expressive face, and as soon as I said the one shoot black people, Mark's like, "This is to tell all our sponsors I do not approve or condone this message."
Mark's sort of the father of the show here, so he's sort of the watch over. So
am I the guy that looks over your shoulder there, Jamie?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm a father to two young little guys, two boys.
Nice. Mark's face is like my mother. My mother can do what Mark does with his whole face, just with lips. She purses her lips like this.
Yeah.
And everyone knows she's pissed. And just let's not say those words again.
It's about time someone's on my side here, Kinsman, and he was out all weekend without any sunscreen, obviously. So.
No, I put the sunscreen on. I just I can tan underneath a light bulb. I'm just one of those types.
You look like you have good color, though. Your color looks good.
Yeah, well, we were out with the Walk of Sorrow with Patricia Ballantyne on Saturday, and
I saw the video. Good for you, buddy. That's fantastic.
She came along, and we ended up walking about five kilometers in the sunshine. You don't realize how powerful the sun is until you're walking 5K on hoofing it on pavement.
Well, and Jamie sent me the link to your Facebook page, so I saw the headline, whatever, the Walk of Sorrow, and I thought you were gonna just be showing some pupun chick walking down the street at dawn with like high heels in her hand. That's the walk of shame. Yes, I made a mistake.
Yes,
the walk of sorrow is something much more important than the.
I would say.
So anyway, we don't want to harp on any negative things, but just to make sure people understand the whole thing about the police violence against black people. These are, just to be clear, these are things I'm against. Just like the walk of sorrow, I am for. The things, the tragedies that caused us to need to make the walk of sorrow, very much against. Just so that everyone is clear, I'm not an insensitive person.
Yeah,
I also love my country, and this has been a very difficult time for people that love Canada. You can imagine that being a Quebecois, I'm already a minority here for somebody that's super mega pro Canada, and then to hear a thing like that, I mean, it's only a matter. It's moving from the west to the east. There's going to be some terrible, terrible shit we're going to find out here in Quebec as well. And it's, I hate.
Yeah. No,
we lose his mic.
Oh, we lost his sound.
You lost your sound there, Derek.
Maybe he unplugged from something.
Unplugged?
Oh, he's on mute. You're on mute.
How's that?
There you go. Yeah, there you go. You muted yourself there, Derek.
I don't know how. I didn't even touch the computer. I think one of you did.
No,
don't blame me. Jamie's doing. Jamie, I hear Jamie clicking shit over there like crazy. Let's make it big. Let's make it small. The fucking guy muted me. Talk about the walk of sorrow. Right as I was about to say what a terrible thing it is, he's like, let's mute it and make it sound like he's saying it's great or something.
Derek's just here to be funny. He's trying to get on a serious issue. So let's just click this.
Is your little square always orange, or is it orange now because of the current movement?
It's actually supposed to be red. I don't know how good of a red we have because that's the color of our logo, but I don't.
Okay.
But it was orange for Patricia's show the other day there when we.
I'm a little bit colorblind. That could be it too. Doesn't that look orange? It's orange on my screen.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you have a color problem with your monitor, or maybe it's us. I don't know. Yeah, there it is. So I know that the Surge has tickets and Rick Lemieux has tickets for this weekend, and you got to get them quick. Yes, there is a lot of folks that will wait to the last minute and buy, and you don't want to be disappointed. And I was telling Derek, I was telling Mark before he came on, there's been so much crap the last year and a half. It's time, just get out, let out some steam, let out some stress, go out and laugh, and just go in there and have a good time. It's about time. We
have a good time. Don't come with an agenda like like I said. I push the envelope sometimes, but you guys, I probably put too much energy into making sure that your whatever 17 listeners knew that I'm not actually saying police violence against any race is bad, that the residential school situation is horrible, but I may still make a joke about it. Because I make a joke about it doesn't mean I'm diminishing how bad it is. Basically what I'm saying is, if you're a fucking Karen, if your name is Karen, maybe you shouldn't come. I don't. If you want to speak to the manager at the Surge, maybe wait till another day to come talk to the manager, is what I'm saying. If you want to have fun, pure fun that has no malicious intent, that is only about trying to make people feel joy and happiness and forget about bullshit for a night, please do come and see us. And know that if you hear something that isn't right up your alley, there's something maybe coming in a second that you might like, and that I don't mean any harm ever. I never want to hurt anybody ever. I have to. One of my colleagues is being sued right now by a human rights tribunal, and the whole issue is is there a line? Is there a subject you shouldn't? No, to me, no. As long as you're not trying to hurt anybody. There's people that we voted for, that elected to public office, that have very important jobs, that make decisions on the daily that hurt hundreds and thousands of people, and yet that's fine. All I'm saying is my intent is never to hurt anybody except evil, mean people. Like if I make a joke about, say, the ineptness of a premier of some province somewhere, I think he could take it, and I don't think he cares really, because he doesn't care about what we think. Anyway, I don't know why I'm over explaining it. I'm nervous. I'm nervous to get back out there. It's a whole new world.
Don't be nervous. You're gonna do fine. You're gonna do fine up here.
People get offended by everything. Like I've had people smoking. Like COVID is killing people, but my smoking has made people angry with me. Like, it's 2021. You're killing us all. Fuck you. See. Keep your mask on, you fucking bitch. Yeah, so that's two. I will be mean to people that I find extraordinarily stupid and self-righteous and self-important. I'm also mean to those people, just so you know.
There you go.
Because they bug the shit out of me.
Well, sometimes people deserve it, but it's a good night out. We haven't had the opportunity for a lot of live entertainment here in Timmins in the last year and a half, so I don't wait. Like Kim, who runs the bar, well, she just said her best friend's Karen, so I don't know what that. Maybe her friend.
That's hilarious. All right, that Karen can come, I suppose. Yeah. She spells it Karen with a K minuscule, like a small K. So that she's probably not too big for her britches, that one.
Yeah. He also says they're not offended by anything at the Surge. Yeah. And also should say this, Derek. We have our own beer cans, which you'll actually find at the Surge. So we could probably set aside a few cold ones for you.
What kind of beer is it?
It's a craft beer from Full Beer Brewing.
But like red, dark, Pilsner?
It's one of the lighter 705. It's the 705 KINZ and KLOMP Live.
It's Blondale.
Yeah, it's a Blondale.
That's my jam. That's my.
There you go.
Kim, set me up with a bucket of fucking
KINZ and KLOMP Live.
KINZ and KLOMP ale, please.
There you go. We'll put a few of these in your rider for coming up here. You haven't had the chance to have riders in 16, 17 months. We'll make sure you're stocked there.
I promise to promote it for an hour plus a night or a show. So you're gonna get a whole 3-hour full KINZ and KLOMP plug at the Surge on that night. And I'll try to store up some special like epic level burps to be like, nothing makes you fucking break the burp record like a KINZ and KLOMP.
I like this. There we go.
Hopefully that's what you're after.
It is a new sport.
Mark's dad just kicked in though. He's like, no, I don't know if burping in public is really polite. Maybe we should.
I don't have. I'm not that big of a downer when I go out. Actually, you know what? But when you see me away from show, away from broadcasting, at an establishment, totally two different people.
Right
swearing like a sailor. Two different KINZs. You get two different levels. The kids are at home in bed. To now dad's out. No kids. Totally different story.
His voice probably changes too. Listen to this beautiful broadcasting voice. He gets to the surgery. He's like, "Hey, Kim, what's going?
All your secrets revealed in one night."
That's right. All in one night.
Yeah, right. That's right. All right. So we can't keep Derek all night, but we know he's going to be in Timmins this weekend. Right. So don't wait. Kim already said there's going to be tons of people at the door. That's the Timmins style. Don't be disappointed. Grab your tickets now. Yeah. Rick Lemieux at the Surge, and just go out, relax, have a good night out. And you know what? If Derek blasts you a little bit, accept it, and then laugh at yourself. Relax.
It's fun. That's it.
I'll be nice. I'll be nice.
All right. It was a real pleasure. And on a serious note, we are really proud of your career and everything you've accomplished for yourself and making Canada laugh. And I love that one article where you outperformed Whitney Cummings. I read that on your webpage, and I like her. She's funny.
That was that was a big night for me. She had a tough job. She's hosting a gala at Just for Laughs. So she's got, scripted, very tight. Like, we need you to do, 67-second here. So it's not any measure of a comedian on how you host a gala. But that night was among the top 5 biggest shows of my life. And, but thank you. And it's definitely, maybe I'll do that joke. You know what? Fuck it. We're in a bar. I could do it there. It's a blowjob joke. So, but
yeah,
I hear
you can do. There's no holds barred at especially the Surge.
Yeah. That's totally
the crowd open for everything. So bring your A game.
I heard in the 90s that's how Timmins was doing population control, was just all oral for like 9 years in Timmins.
I think that's what the mayor was saying.
I would vote for that. Any politician that ran on a platform of all oral, I would vote for that friggin' politician.
Be like 97% voter turnout on that. All right. Well,
nice to meet you guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
We will. Good luck this weekend. We're going to stock you up with the beer, and best of luck with the shows. And congratulations for being back on the road.
Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Can't wait to get back out there. Cheers. We'll see you soon.
All right, buddy. We'll see you up here.
Peace.
So awesome, right? You have to, if you don't know a lot about Derek, this guy, one, it's very hard to establish an entertainment career in Canada as compared to the States. But what he's done here in Canada and the shows that he's stolen, and he was playing at some big venues, Kinsman. So we're very fortunate to have him here this weekend at the Surge, our favorite place in town.
Out of all places, the Surge with Kim and her staff. Everybody going to enjoy Derek. And again, you know what? You love the comedians. And, he was tying it in with the musicians where they play. They don't care where they're playing. If they're playing to one person or, 50,000 people, they still give it their all, and they don't care where they're playing. They want to reach all the audience. And, Derek, we're thankful that he's got, he's a humble guy and loves to play in the North. He's very down to earth. And he's not the stars that always play to the 50,000 plus. I need $1 million. No, Derek plays where his fans want to see him play, and that's up here in the North.
And listen, you go to one of these comedy shows. Nothing's like you said. Nothing's to be taken seriously. It's just jokes to make people laugh and relax and forget about all the other stuff that's going on in their life. So it was really cool to have him, and
can't wait.
At his jokes there, Kinsman. Not once you laugh at any of my jokes. Not once. One time.
Come on. Oh, come on. When you get to the stature of a Derek Seguin.
Yeah. Well, okay. All right. So speaking about Patricia and the Walker Sorrow,
and I said we did the walk. The whole extra day having the stat on Monday screwed me up there. I said the walk was Saturday. We walked on Sunday.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Patricia was in Timmins, and you know what? One of the proudest moments being a part of that walk with Patricia and her entourage with Lindsay. They asked us to be a part of it. And seeing all the love and support when she left Timmins today. She's now in Matheson, her way to North Bay, eventually to Ottawa. Hopefully, she'll get there by the 21st, according to her crew. But she made it to Matheson safely here this afternoon.
Good. And I seen she got her and her team got a great welcoming in Matheson. So
they sure did.
Our friend from Brain Freeze is going to be part of what? Is it Urban Park tomorrow?
The Urban Park Olympics is what's going on tomorrow. And Julie Lemire, yes, the Brain Freeze. My little guys love when they hear her, rolling around Melrose. If they haven't eaten their dinner, they're wolfing down their dinner because they know they have to eat before they get the treat, right? But Julie Lemire, 12 noon tomorrow, the Urban Park Olympics. And they've got a kid-friendly obstacle course there. So with all the kids there taking part in the obstacle course, what better way to cool down than with a Brain Freeze treat from Julie? She'll be there tomorrow.
All right, Kinsman, you did not win the TADH.
No, I know they say don't go to bed thinking that you're going to be that one getting the phone call, but everybody does. You buy a ticket for the TADH draw, the 50-50. It's been over $200,000 since it started. Again, $215,000. 11 o'clock comes by. Is it just me? You look at 11, you're like, okay, maybe my phone's broken. Maybe they're doing the draw late today. Mm-hmm. They didn't call you or I, but they did call Marie Malte of Timmins and her family. Seeing posts online, couldn't have happened to a better family. $215,000. I'd be happy if I'm happy finding a nickel on the doorstep, let alone keep on getting that phone call.
Yeah. So congratulations. These draws are astronomical.
Amazing, right?
So I'm back. I was back at Restaurant Nadeau this weekend, and these pizzas, I always have the intentions to go in and try the pizza, but then I just always get sucked back into their breakfast because they have something like Texas toast. But they call it something differently there. But it's Texas toast. They
like
call
it house bread. Nope. Isn't that what she calls it? The house loaf?
Fat toast, Kinsman.
Fat toast.
And I always get sucked back in and have the breakfast. But these pizzas are really good.
They are. And if you haven't tried the pizzas yet, Julie, a proud sponsor of our show, says, we say, what do you want us to focus on? What's hot? She's like, make sure you tell them all about my pizzas. If you haven't tried the Restaurant Nadeau pizza, Julie makes a mean pizza. She's got the Canadian, the barbecue chicken, you name it. She can whip it up into a pizza crust for you and a pizza. And she also, one of the earliest breakfast starts in the city, 7 a.m. They are open for breakfast, and they also have takeout and delivery. And we also want to send our condolences. Julie, we heard through the grapevine, she lost her pup of 13 years today. So our condolences to Julie and her family for losing their little fur child today.
Yeah, that's always tough. It's like a family member. So we met, we chatted with Anthony today. And his story is pretty remarkable for Mining Safety Solutions. Did you know this, Kinsman? So he started it's a local business.
Yes.
And they sell all types of mining safety type apparel all over Timmins, but all over the country. He started in 2015 in conjunction with Northern College.
Yeah.
2018, he wins a safety award for his gloves. I think they're called MSS1. So he's been building this business pretty much on himself for the last 6 years. He services a lot of the mines and industries in this communities, known as selling, if not the best safety gloves in the business. And he's expanded to all types of safety type stuff, solutions, and that he had that spray, that sanitizing spray for businesses that made it really easy to sanitize their office and workspace. He specializes in the gloves, and we had a chance to chat with him today, and he's going to be coming on the show Thursday. But if you really want to support someone local, it's a mining town. His gloves are bar none the best. And listen, you don't want to lose these hands, Kinsman, but
no.
You have to check out Anthony at Mining Safety Solutions, and the work he's doing in town is pretty incredible. I liked it. Pretty
incredible. And again, when he brings these gloves to the forefront, I don't know if there's miners out there using gloves, having trouble with the dexterity of, bending. You need to use you're in tight spaces. You need to, have full control of the hands. These gloves, You should see the dexterity of these gloves if you're not using them. And again, Anthony going to be on the show Thursday to tell you not only how awesome these gloves are, but how you can join his fleet and help him promote these gloves. So we're gonna bring him on.
It's a local guy to dream about starting his own business and finding success, and we love those stories. So congratulations to him. And guess what? I was out at Villers Bay last night checking out an RV. I slept in it, actually, Kinsman. That was purchased at Timmins RV.
Yeah.
Enjoying life, the DVD players going. These pull-out beds, remember them in the old tent trailers where you couldn't walk for like 6 weeks? No. Sleep of comfort and luxury. The rain was coming down.
It rained pretty good. You invited me. I said no, I was going to stay and watch some of the Olympics there. I wasn't going to take the drive out there, but you ended up staying dry because you asked for one. You're in an RV, and afterwards I said, where does everybody sleep? I forgot that the RV that you guys are in. What was it? Sleep 10, 8, 10?
10.
There's a ton of people in that.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have 9 friends to fill it, but when I go to other people's RVs, I can fill it. It'd be you and maybe my dad if I can get him here from Thunder Bay. So 3 out of 10 filled.
That's it. And again, Timmins RV. Again, you get better amenities and accommodations in these RVs than you do in your own home. They've had great deals on all spring, all summer, and now as they near closer to fall, they want to get rid of their inventory. You're saving. I was on their site today, timminsrv.com. Springdale travel trailers and the RVs, the Arcadia, the Keystone Arcadias, $10,000 in some cases cheaper, $20,000 cheaper. So if you have your eye on, let's say, an RV back in the spring, this is the time to buy. TimminsRV.com. Right. Again, you can find them on the lot, first left past the Kamoskosia Turnout.
Ashley says, sounds like a great deal. And Ashley's been commenting a lot tonight. That's awesome. We really appreciate that, Ashley. And Mason is all set with his new Spider-Man bedding to sleep in his. There you go. So the Mick Keen Vickers families ready to hit the road.
They're getting set to take theirs. They're going to be taking it on its maiden voyage, I do believe, this weekend. So
don't you be crashing their family party, Kenzie. You're trying to get an invite by mentioning that. Okay, so I'm going to show the video right at the end, but why is this green screen behind me? So we have this very awesome contest.
Yes, we do.
With our friends at Bell from Park Road Square. And locally owned Bell store, okay? Look, we want to say locally. We love them in there. 2 things, and it's easy. You go in, you fill out a ballot. Very simple in the store. You can win $300 in-store credit.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And Mark and I are going to come and clean your car inside and out. I'm doing the outside.
Hopefully, you see a comment from Amaret on the comment thread. If you know Ann, she's been on our show a few times. She was our first guest on KINZ and KLOMP Live. Her dog Loki. She says, she said today, I can't wait for Jamie and Mark to win this for me, or she wants to win because you can see the hair in the back seat there. We'd be up to our eyeballs in Loki fur.
There's the photo right there, Kinsman.
That's it. Janice said it looked like I wanted to spray you. The answer to that question, Janice, yes, I did.
That's right. Janice is going to need her RV clean. So I guess it's a vehicle. We did say a vehicle, so we stepped in that. So once again, all you got to do is head down to the store, fill out a ballot, and then at the end of the month, we're going to announce the winner.
That's right. Chantel and Joel, just go see them. Again, don't confuse them with the corporate Bells, the local Bell, Park Road Square, 425 Algonquin Boulevard East. And you can't miss the ballot drum. It's, in fact, one box that was designed by Little Mason. He gave that to us earlier on in the summer.
All right, Kinsman. I'm going to play the video, and then I am going to go eat my supper. So you have a good night, my friend.
You too, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Yes, and remember, next time, laugh at my jokes. I have feelings too, Kinsman. All right, Kinsman, the long weekend is over.
It is.
But you don't need to be sad or depressed because the fun is going to continue.
It's going to continue. We wanted to welcome our newest sponsors to KINZ and KLOMP Live, the Bell Store at Park Road Square. to the KINZ and KLOMP Live lineup with a launch of a brand new contest,
Yes.
which is going to start right now.
Okay, so here's how it goes, Kinsman. A couple big things.
Yeah.
I want to get the big news out of the way.
What's that?
If you enter this contest, and it's very simple, you just come into the Bell store right here on Park Road.
That's right.
You enter the ballot, right? The ballot's right.
The ballot
You wanna
box
show
is
them
right
the
here.
box?
Remember Mason?
Yes.
Mason gave that to us, and look at that. This is going to be the ballot drum right here at the Park Road Square in the Bell store. When you're walking in or out,
Yes.
put it in here, and you have a chance to win.
Okay, so people know how to drop in a ballot, but the thing is, if you come in between now and the end of August and you fill out a ballot, the winner, we're going to come to your place and clean your vehicle.
That's
now,
right.
I'm doing the outside, you're doing the inside of the vehicle.
I'm going to do the inside. Okay, we're going to have to flip a coin for that, but yeah, we will clean your vehicle, and in hand, guess what? $300 in-store credit to shop right here at the Bell store.
That's right. So you just got to come into the Bell store, fill out a ballot. At the end of August, we're going to draw one lucky winner. We're going to clean your vehicle. We're going to drop you off a $300 in-store credit to be used at the Bell store here.
That's
you know
right.
what I love about the Bell store in Park Road?
What's that?
Locally owned, man.
That's right. Locally owned and operated.